As Americans, we often talk about freedom. We talk about freedom of speech, being free from unreasonable searches, even the freedom to vote in elections. But have you ever really considered what it means to have freedom? The dictionary defines freedom as the condition of not being controlled by another nation or political power, political independence, the condition of not being subject to a despotic or oppressive power, civil liberty, the condition of not being constrained or restricted in a specific aspect of life by a government or other power, freedom of assembly, and the condition of not being a slave. The Bill of Rights was written to ensure that the rights that protect our freedoms were included in the supreme laws of the land. People often talk about rights as if they are monolithic things, all lumped together. But there are several ways to differentiate rights. The Declaration of Independence lists some unalienable rights, which would lead one to believe there are also alienable rights. There are rights protected by the Constitution of the United States, while others exist even if they are not enumerated, as the Ninth Amendment points out. The enumeration in this Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. In today's society, there are even rights claimed that are not legitimate rights at all. Even freedom of speech has limits, as Benjamin Franklin, writing under the pseudonym Silas Newgate, stated. Without freedom of thought, there can be no such thing as wisdom, and no such thing as public liberty without freedom of speech, which is the right of every man as far as by it he does not hurt or control the right of another. And this is the only check it ought to suffer, and only bounds it ought to know. So even the freedom of speech is limited to those actions that do not hurt or control the rights of another. After the alienability of a right, the most important aspect I can think of, and the one I will be focusing on today, is the question of whether a right is positive or negative. This topic can be a bit confusing because we normally associate positive with good and negative with bad. That's not the case here, since positive and negative refer to the duty of others. So let's start by looking at these two different types of rights.